Hi, and welcome to another episode of Late to the Prepper Party with Jay and Elle. I'm Elle, and today Jay is out working in the community. A neighbor is putting up a new house, and
Hey, babe.
Hi. I was just saying you were out working in the community.
I did.
So I'm Elle, and here is Jay,
And I'm Jay,
who
man.
just got back from helping one of the neighbors put up trusses in the house that he's building.
All the trusses are up, and the storm is rolling in.
Oh, yes. Well, while the storm's rolling in, today we have another edition of Kitchen Corner for you
It's going to be amazing.
because we're working with a plant that most people don't work with these anymore these days. It's becoming a lost art. We're going to be making some rhubarb jelly.
Oh, I can't wait. Rhubarb jelly. You're going to look forward to this.
Okay. So today on our edition of Kitchen Corner, like I mentioned, we're going to be working with rhubarb and making rhubarb jelly. But first, let me say, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the party. And if you're returning, welcome back. We believe the party is always better when it's bigger. If you haven't yet, would you take a moment, please, and click that like button somewhere right about there. It really helps the algorithm push our videos out or send our videos out to more like-minded people. And it's the number one thing you can do to help us with this channel is by clicking the like button. So if you could take a minute and do that, we would greatly appreciate it. If you're really enjoying our content, though, what we'd love is for you to become a permanent party goer and subscribe. Don't forget the notification bell so that you can be notified every time we upload a video. And as always, please, any comments and prayer requests, leave them down in the comment section. The more feedback we get from you, the more our channel hopefully will grow and flourish. So, like I mentioned, rhubarb is becoming something that most people don't cook with. I think rhubarb, you often hear about like rhubarb strawberry pie. That's, in fact, until I got up into the high desert and met people who grow rhubarb, I didn't know anything other than rhubarb strawberry pie. But it turns out you can make all kinds of delicious things with rhubarb. And my dear friend Shirley, who makes my aprons, once again, love you, Shirley, also provided me with a ton of rhubarb that I've already cut up and chopped. I've got some frozen. I've got some fresh rhubarb. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to make some rhubarb jelly today. Lost art that we're going to try to bring on back, because with the STHF event happens, the end days start coming. You're going to need things like rhubarb and dandelion and the fruits that you grow yourself in order to make things for dessert type things. Let's make some rhubarb jelly, and we'll start by steeping our rhubarb. So here I am. I've got my trusty teapot with 4 cups of water pre-measured inside. I don't know if you can see it, but pre-measured 4 cups of water. And here I've got 4 cups of chopped rhubarb, chopped into about inch pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to the water, because the first thing you have to do is cook it down. Okay, so I've got it added in, and I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. It needs to come to a boil, a rapid boil, and for about a minute, and do the exact same thing as last time, which is turn off the heat and steep it, but only for 20 minutes this time. Now you can see I'm starting to boil. The difference between the rhubarb and the dandelion jelly, in the episode with the dandelion jelly, I started with boiling water and added the petals to the boiling water. Here, I started with 4 cups of water, added the rhubarb, and then brought it up to a rapid boil, which is almost about where it is right now. Almost there. By adding the rhubarb into the water and bringing it up to a rapid boil, it helps to break down the rhubarb to release the juices, because that's really what we're after, is the rhubarb juice. Now I do have a recipe for rhubarb butter where we use the entire plant itself, but here we're going to be steeping this down for the juice, to extract the juice out of the plant. And we're almost to a rapid boil now. So now you can see mine's at a rolling boil, and it says to do that for about a minute. So that is what I'm going to do. You can see the water is starting to take on a pinkish colored hue, which is, I think, a good thing, because all of the pictures from the recipes that I looked at, the jelly is light pink color. So we've got this at a rolling bubble or rolling boil. The two words could be used interchangeably, and for about 1 minute, and then I'm going to go ahead and turn down the heat and let it steep for approximately 20 to 30 minutes. Okay, so it's now been at a rolling boil or a rolling bubble for approximately a minute or so. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn down the heat and let it steep for approximately 20 to 30 minutes, or until all of the rhubarb is soft. Here we go. My heat is down and we are steeping. So I'm going to go ahead and let this steep for about 20 to 30 minutes. It all depends on when the rhubarb is real soft, and we'll be right back for the next phase of making rhubarb juice for rhubarb jelly. So it's been about 23 minutes and I've had this steeping. As you can see, my rhubarb is all mushy kinda, and well, not kinda, but it's all mushy and cooked down. It's kind of shredding up. The water looks a little pink. And what I'm supposed to do now is very similar to like the dandelion jelly. And other jellies, I guess, when you're going just for the juice, is you're going to strain it into a measuring cup with a strainer, as such. I'm going to place my trusty measuring cup, my strainer, and just like with the dandelion jelly, I'm going to go ahead and use a cheesecloth and strain it through the cheesecloth. Now the trick to this, though, is that after you do the initial pouring, because you need 4 cups, right? And I don't know if you can tell, but it takes a while, I guess, for you to achieve your 4 cups of juice. And it tells you to let this strain for 2 hours to get all of the water and juice until you have 4 cups of rhubarb juice. I'm going to go ahead, and as per the directions, I'm going to let my rhubarb strain for 2 hours. Okay, guys, so it has been 2 hours. I started to pick this up, and I'm just going to give this here a little bit of a squeeze. And we're going to take a look and see what's happened. If we hit 4 cups, we sure did. We have our 4 cups of rhubarb juice. Ooh, it looks really pretty. So we're going to start working with that. Our ingredients today are 4 cups of... So for our ingredients today, we have the star of our show. So for our ingredients today, we have the star of our show, the rhubarb juice, 4 cups. We have 4 cups of sugar and a box of the premium fruit pectin. To can this, we're going to, of course, use 8 8-ounce jars, which I am going to put in the oven at 250 degrees. I have my lids, well, my rings. Over here, I have the lids, and I will be turning that water on for a light boil to sterilize it. I also have 2 tablespoons of vinegar with a little paper towel in which to wipe the jars down before placing the lids on. I've got my canning utensils for canning, like canning funnel and ladle, spatula, and I also have a little mini strainer to skim off or to pull the skim off. Let's make some jelly. Okay, to begin making our jelly, like I said, I'm going to place my jars into my oven at 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, I'm going to turn on for a light boil the lids, and we are going to take 4 cups of rhubarb juice and pour it into our pot. Alrighty, it's pretty thick. We also, at this time, are going to add in the 2 ounces of pectin. And I am going to stir this until it comes to a boil. To help the pectin dissipate, I went ahead and used a whisk because it had kind of clumped up. So as I was putting in and whisking, it helped to undo most of the clumps. And now I'm going to bring it to a rapid or rolling bubble. Okay, so we are now at a rolling boil, and you can see it's as I move it, it's not dissipating, and I need to keep it there for about a minute before adding the sugar. So I turned my heat down just a little bit. You'll probably have to adjust your own heat as you go as well, because you can see mine's trying to boil right out of the pan. I might have to adjust mine down a little bit more, and that's okay. So I wanted to give you a little bit of background on rhubarb for those of you who aren't familiar with it. It is a perennial plant, and it is considered a vegetable, although some people refer to it as being a fruit because it's got that kind of bitter but sweet flavor to it, and it's often used to make things like jelly and breads and pies, dessert type esque items. And so people have always they refer to it as a fruit, but it is in fact considered a vegetable. You can eat it raw, but you cannot eat the leaves, only the stalks. Okay, so that's been roughly about a minute. Let's go ahead and add our sugar, and we're gonna stir that until it dissolves and comes back down to a, see how I kind of beat this down? We're gonna add in our sugar, and we're gonna stir it until it gets back up to a rolling boil. And then once again, keep it at that rolling boil for about a minute. Okay, we are now coming up to that rolling boil. Here we go. We know you're at a rolling boil because it does not dissipate when you stir. It keeps rolling and boiling the same consistently. You might have to again check your heat, because you don't want it to overflow in your pot. I'm going to have to do that very thing. Okay, it has been approximately a minute, give or take a few seconds. And you can see I'm still at the rolling boil, but I'm going to go ahead now and get ready to turn my heat off completely, while also getting my jars out of the oven. And let's get it into the jars, shall we? Let's get it into the jars. Remember, you want to leave about 1 inch of space for each jar from the top. Okay, guys, we've got all 8 jars filled. I actually didn't have enough to completely fill that one, but that's okay. That's okay. It's work in progress. I definitely need to clean the top of my jars, so I'm going to go ahead and do that with a little bit of vinegar and just wipe them down. Oh, because they are lightly pat dry your lids and place them on the jar one at a time, not two. Remember, all of this stuff that you're working with is hot, you guys. Just a bit hot. All right, next comes our rings. Just enough to put them on for right now. Then we'll grab the oven mitts because these jars are hot. Tighten them up. Now I'm going to reapply my oven mitts because they're warm. I strongly recommend that you put on oven mitts because they're hot. Alrighty. Now that we have all of the rings tightened, we're going to go ahead and turn them over for 5 minutes. Remember, the jars are very hot. Use gloves. Now that they're all flipped, we're going to set a timer for 5 minutes and come back and flip them back over. So it's been 5 minutes. It is time to turn these over. I am putting on gloves because remember that like last time they were hot still. And I don't want to burn myself, so I'm lifting them up with gloves on. They're still pretty liquidy, but hopefully it will thicken as it cools, just like the dandelion jelly did. You know, I tried to get the skim off. I didn't do that successful of a job with this one, but it's my first time. It is what it is, I guess. But we'll see. Okay, now they're all right side up. I'm going to leave them until tomorrow morning. Okay, so we'll check back in the morning to see if they all sealed. Hi, and welcome back. It is the following morning, and I wanted to show you what happened with the rhubarb jelly. First, let me tell you, I was checking it throughout the evening, and it was really liquidy, and I started wondering, oh gosh, what did I do wrong? Because it didn't seem to be solidifying very much at all. Last night, right before bed, I checked it again, still really liquidy, not solidifying. So I looked up reasons that your jelly might not solidify, things that have effects on pectin, overcooking, undercooking, lack of lemon juice. And if you'll remember, there was no lemon juice in our recipe. So lemon juice apparently helps activate pectin. However, this morning I got up and I'm happy to report we have success. It is solid. It's a beautiful light pink color. Let me show you here. Try to do it without my hand on it again so that you can see. Now, it is still a bit wiggly in the jar. I wanted you to be able to see that. It looks kind of liquidy, doesn't it? If you can see as I'm moving it. So I wanted to show you the jar. Remember the one I told you I just didn't have enough jelly to fill? See, it's not doing that, I think, because there's less jelly in it. Now, what I mean by this is I think this is going to take a little longer to solidify. One of the things that I learned when I was looking up about the jelly solidifying is that, one, it takes 24 to 48 hours. So if your jelly is kind of liquidy, still sloshing around, make sure you wait at least 48 hours before you make the decision to try to correct it, okay? Lesson learned for me. Because in less than 24 hours, mine is almost completely solidified. I'm sure by tomorrow it will be. I can tell you that I took a little taste of the jelly and, you know, not out of the jar, of course, but I can tell you that right off the spatula before I started washing dishes, and it tastes like rhubarb. One of the things about rhubarb, I think you either love it or you hate it. You like it or you don't. Jay's not a big fan of rhubarb. I don't understand that. It's quite something to eat raw. And remember, don't eat the leaves. The leaves are poisonous to humans. But as far as the stalk goes, you can eat the stalk raw, and it's something to behold. I recommend trying it at least once in your life. But as terms of using it in pies and jellies, for rhubarb butter, first of all, it has its own distinct taste, rhubarb does, and this tastes like a sweet rhubarb jelly. I don't know how else to explain it. So far I've had the rhubarb juice, I have had rhubarb lemonade, I've had rhubarb muffins, rhubarb butter, and I've tasted the rhubarb jelly, and I can tell you rhubarb has its own taste. I guess the closest thing I might liken it to is kind of strawberries. It complements strawberries, but I guess it's not even, I'm not really sure. It just has its own unique taste. I highly recommend you try it though and discover if you like it. We're in rhubarb season. Make yourself some rhubarb jelly. I did. I don't regret it. It's a beautiful color, and I'm very pleased. My second attempt at jelly and canning has been a success. And you were here sharing it with me the whole entire time. What a party this has been. What a party. But the time has come to shut this party down again. If you haven't already, could you please click that like button for us, because it's the #1 thing you can do to help this channel and help get it out to more like-minded viewers. If you haven't joined the party already, subscribe, become a permanent party goer. We'd love to have you with us. Don't forget, we'd love for you to leave prayer requests and all comments down in the comment section below. Any recommendations you have for things that I'm doing or things that I might be doing incorrectly. I have been corrected on a couple of things by people, and I do appreciate it, because you don't learn if nobody teaches you, right? So until next time, blessed be his name. Bye.